Have you ever felt that a title in K-pop entertainment sometimes weighs more than just a simple compliment? Today we're talking about a topic that's been making the rounds. BTS, Jungkook, and Kim Taehyung were called the kings of K-pop by the Korean media. But the question is this the reality they deserve? Or is it just industry-created hype? Okay, first of all, let's take a deep breath and be honest for a moment. The world of K-pop is harsh. Titles like King of K-pop are no joke. It's not just about momentary popularity, it's about consistency, quality, and a global appeal that doesn't fade easily. Well, in the past few weeks, several major South Korean media outlets, such as Newsin, Sports Chosen, and Star News, have started to mention Jungkook and Taehyung, the two members of BTS, as figures worthy of the title King of K-pop. Not without reason. If we look at various objective indicators, both Jungkook and Taehyung have strengths that are almost difficult to compete with. Starting from the aspect of global popularity, Jungkook and Taehyung are names that consistently make the list of most searched K-pop idols on Google, YouTube, TikTok, and even Instagram. Data from Google Trends has historically shown Jungkook dominating K-pop-related searches in major countries, even when the group's activities are on hiatus. Meanwhile, Taehyung, better known as V, has strengths in other areas. V is one of the idols with the strongest visual and artistic branding. On Twitter, before it changed to X, his name was often trending just because of a small update. And let's not forget the fact that V once set a record as the K-pop idol with the fastest Instagram followers to reach 1 million, even 10 million in just a matter of hours. In terms of music, Jungkook last year released the single 7, which took the world by storm. The song was immediately ranked #1 on the Billboard Global 200 and broke many streaming records. Then V was no different. His solo album, Layover, made it to the Billboard 200 and gained widespread recognition for the quality of his more experimental music, far from the conventional idol impression. In music industry theory, recognition like this is usually not born from just one factor. There is a theory of audience segmentation in the entertainment industry, where an artist is considered king if they manage to dominate various segments, from youth, adults, and even international segments. In the case of Jungkook and Taehyung, both have magnetic power in many of these segments. But behind all these facts, another important question arises. Is this all a reality? Or is it part of a narrative deliberately shaped by the industry and media? If we look deeper in the K-pop world, the media has a big role in creating or strengthening artist branding. There is a term in media studies called agenda-setting theory. This theory explains that the media not only reports what happens, but also shapes people's perceptions of what is important. When major media outlets in Korea started referring to Jungkook and Taehyung as the kings of K-pop, they were indirectly forming a collective agreement that these two names are the gold standard. Moreover, this was during a time when many new generation K-pop groups were emerging, but none could match BTS' complete dominance. In other words, King of K-pop could be a strategic title to maintain dominance, strengthen the market, as well as maintain narrative consistency amidst K-pop's current generational transition. Of course, if we're being honest, Jungkook and Taehyung aren't just media products. They worked hard for years, built their reputations from scratch, and expanded K-pop's horizons to the rest of the world. They are not instant artists. From stage performance, sound quality, visuals, interaction with fans, to international achievements, it's all the result of years of hard work, not just because of big agencies or media hype. But we can't close our eyes either. There's a very smart momentum at play here. HYBE and the Korean media know that the world needs big figures to keep the K-pop ecosystem alive at its peak. If BTS as a group is on hiatus due to military service, then keeping the spotlight on its two biggest names, Jungkook and Taehyung, is a strategy that makes perfect sense. Finally, if we were to ask, are Jungkook and Taehyung the kings of K-pop? The answer, technically yes. But let's not forget, this is also part of a very neat and structured industry strategy. They deserve it because their skills and personal achievements are outstanding. But on the other hand, the strengthening of the title is also inseparable from the role of the Korean media and entertainment industry, who know exactly how to manage public perception. But the question is, Now that the world seems to have agreed to put Jungkook and Taehyung at the top, what exactly are the consequences of this King of K-pop title? This is something that sometimes doesn't get discussed much. Getting a big title is one thing. Maintaining it, it's much harder. In the world of creative industries, there's something called the burden of expectation. The burden of expectation that comes from the public, the media, and even the industry itself. And when it comes to Jungkook and Taehyung, the expectations on their shoulders now might be much heavier than just making good music or looking cool on stage. They don't just represent themselves anymore. They now represent the expectations of an entire generation of K-pop. Every song release, every performance, every social media gesture, everything will be compared, analyzed, and even criticized with standards that may not be human. There's a popular psychology term called celebrity fatigue, a condition where the public starts to get bored or tired of famous figures because they're exposed too often or because expectations are too high. It's a reality that anyone dubbed king must face. And if we look at global trends today, the entertainment world is moving fast. Really fast. What goes viral today can easily be forgotten tomorrow morning. Because of this, maintaining relevance is much more difficult than just achieving it. But this is the unique thing about Jungkook and Taehyung. Up until now, they've shown a slightly different pattern than many other idols. Instead of just chasing instant popularity, they have consistently built strong artistic identities. Jungkook has shown a mature musical evolution, moving from the golden magne image to a serious global solo musician. Meanwhile, Taehyung chooses a more personal path, emphasizing the artistic, aesthetic, and even slightly experimental side of his works. In marketing theory, they're not just selling a product, but building a long-term personal brand. And this is what separates an icon from a mere seasonal celebrity. So, what happens next? There are two big possibilities. First, if they manage to maintain this momentum with consistent work, they will cement their position not only as the kings of K-pop, but as global icons across generations, like Michael Jackson did for world pop, or the Beatles did for modern music. But there is also a second possibility. If expectations continue to swell without being matched by their human reality, the public could start to feel too high expectations, too few surprises. And this is dangerous. The history of pop culture has recorded how great figures were suddenly overtaken by a new wave simply because they lost connection with their audience. Therefore, it's important for Jungkook and Taehyung, and of course HYB as their agency, to keep reading the wind. Not just maintain the old successful formula, but continue to innovate. Not just meeting public expectations, but also building an authenticity that still feels fresh. And it's a big challenge, but also an interesting one. Because if there are two names from the K-pop world that have the capacity to do that, then they are Jungkook and Taehyung. Finally, if we're being honest, is the title King of K-pop a reality or a hype? The answer is the same. Both. Reality built by their hard work and incredible talent, and hype cleverly nurtured by the media and entertainment industry to keep the world's spirits up. But one thing is clear. Beneath all the narratives, theories, and strategies, there's a fact that cannot be denied. Jungkook and Taehyung's natural charisma is too strong to ignore. And in this world of entertainment that changes every second, such charisma is one of the rarest powers there is. Like it or not, the world has made their choice. And for now, the throne of the King of K-pop is rightfully in their hands.